Hey everyone, welcome to Thought Leaders Café. Today I'm going to be talking to nutritionist Lopa. She is a yoga instructor and also a Reiki master. We all want to be fit, we all want to stay healthy and happy, but sometimes we don't hit our goals. Maybe because the schedules don't support us, or something else that's going on in your life that's preventing you from focusing on your fitness. No matter what the reason is, she's going to help us guide through this challenge of how to fit in fitness into our schedules. Just going to share some practical tips that are not very aggressive, that are grounded on reality, and that can help you stay on the course of your fitness journey. So I'm excited to talk to her. Join with me. Hey Loba, welcome to Thought Leaders Cafe.
Hey Aruna, thank you so much for this. I was actually waiting for Friday to come to record this with you.
Me too, because I have so many questions for you. I'm really happy to have a nutritionist with me today
Thank
because
you. It's my pleasure.
starting with your introduction, please go ahead and introduce yourself for the audience.
Thank you so much, Aruna, for having me, as I said, and it's my pleasure to be here. So, yeah, my name is Lopa. I am a nutritionist, a wellness coach from last 14 years. I did a career switch back in 2009. To be precise, in 2011 is when I started my formal education into fitness. Initially, I started as a group fitness instructor from Reebok. Then I kept on, certifying myself. I became a ACE certified personal trainer. Then I became a yoga teacher, 200 hours. While all these things were happening, I somehow got inclined towards energy healing,
Mhm.
and I am a Reiki master as well. And in 2017 is when I, walked into the path of entrepreneurship, and I
Mhm.
opened my own brand. This started in India, Bangalore. We grew as a brand. Back in 2017, we started selling online nutrition programs, online exercise programs, to all the people who were not present, not doing one-on-one in person, but virtually.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I think from there it started and it took off, and I am here 2000, it's 2025, and it's been quite a lot of journey. I have traveled two countries. From India, I relocated to Singapore, where I could not work because of my visa. So I took that opportunity, went back to college for a year, did my advanced diploma in nutrition science and public health, and then came here to US. And 3 years ago, I re-registered my brand again in the state of Washington. And yeah, since then I have just been all over, trying to help people, especially women.
Mhm.
I specialize in hormonal imbalances. That's what my forte lies in. I talk a lot about anti-inflammatory food. I talk a lot about gut health. And I especially deal with a lot of women in the perimenopause to menopause stage. Um, because they are the people who actually suffer with a lot of insulin resistance, inflammation, and these are all undiagnosed things which we probably don't know. But eventually, when you understand, and with all my experiences with my own self and with my clients, I think every time that happens, I also learn a new thing. So that's my forte. And but it's not that I only deal with women. I do have men clients as well. But I think men usually come to me for lifestyle disorders. That's when
Mhm.
the doctors actually tell them that, hey, your lipids are high, you have fatty liver. That's when they reach out to me. Um, yeah, but I would say a majority of my clientele are women, and all are working women. In fact, 99% of my women clients are all working.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that's
Wow.
about a vast introduction of who am I and what I do.
That was quite impressive. Definitely, I think your journey into nutrition and then yoga and then Reiki, and now as an entrepreneur, sharing the knowledge that you have gathered over a period of time and the benefits you have gained out of these processes, this is amazing. And I feel I'm talking to the perfect person I was looking for because I have some of the conditions that you mentioned that you deal with. So we can double click on each of these as we go.
Sure.
I'm a working woman too, very tight schedule, but that's just an excuse. I mean, instead of sitting and watching TV, I could definitely be working out, but the mind automatically goes to, okay, make a chai and sit in front of TV and relax, right? Very tight schedule, like 9 to 5. Mornings are busy, sending the child to school, and then evening classes for the children, and then your own household chores, cooking and cleaning. The day just finishes, right? So somebody like me, this is my schedule, what I just narrated. I go for a walk for
Common
30 minutes in the
schedule.
morning.
Yeah.
I still, there is definitely a wish to get better, physically, mentally. I want to take my time to do meditation. But the moment I sit for meditation, I get so many things in my mind and it's not consistent. Sometimes I just try, and then I realize, okay, my mind has shifted. I want to come back. And then you refocus on the breath and still it's not consistent. I think consistency is the key and that's where I lack. So what is your advice on people like me, especially you're dealing with working women with tight schedules? How do we start and how do we bring in this discipline into our life?
This is actually a very, very good point that you just said. And I'll, I kind of, since I have dealt with a lot of women in India who were in India versus women who do not live in India, the lifestyle is absolutely different back in India. Though women are all working, but then we do have support system, who kind of take care of other chores of the house. Unlike when you live outside India, and I think one of the biggest probably thing that I have also adapted and kind of improvised in my coaching plan is to actually assist or actually create a plan which is very practical. So my philosophy of teaching or my philosophy on nutrition is it has to be practical. Okay, I do not believe in any form of shortcuts.
Mhm,
I never preach that. I never will. I get clients who come to me and tell me that, hey, I have so and so coming up. Can you just help me? Can you put me on a 500, 600 calorie diet? I just want to do. I said, don't come to me then because I don't even want to give you that because tomorrow you'll go and tell other people that I have given you a 500 calorie diet. And I really don't want that because I myself don't promote it.
yeah.
So, the first thing to address your question is to accept the reality. It's very important to be aware of what is your reality. If
Mhm,
you are a woman who probably wakes up at 6 in the morning and goes to bed at 10 in the night, and your entire day is packed, that's your reality. So, first and foremost, acceptance is important. And then the second thought comes that, okay, now I want to take care of my health and how to go about it. Is it possible for me to do a separate meal prep for me? Or it will be the same meal prep which will happen for the family, and I can probably portion it out and add some extra thing.
mhm,
Um, the second thing is it possible for me to go and exercise 5 days a week, 6 days a week? If that is not possible, then I make a pact with myself that, okay, on weekends I will work out and probably one of the day of the week I will work out. So the
mhm,
first step here is to accept what is your reality. And based on that, then we set a goal. And when we set a goal which is achievable and not something which is too, something which is going to be the end result, I think that kind of helps to set a very realistic goal and it's easy for you to achieve that. So that's my thing. And that's exactly what I do with my clients is
mhm,
I exactly tell them that if you have not been doing this for so many years, you will not be doing it now also. So Just because you are paying money to become your nutritionist, that doesn't really mean that you will change your lifestyle. Because, when you pay money, you feel the pain of giving money. So you will kind of follow it maybe for a week or two, or maximum for a month, but eventually you will slip and come back. So
Mm-hmm.
my goal is always and always to constantly um, tell my clients that you need to change the narrative in your head constantly. If you, so a lot of times people come and they say, oh, I have such a busy schedule. I really don't have time. I don't have time to cook. I did not cook anything in the morning. When I opened my fridge, I saw there is nothing. So, I just ordered food, or I just ate up 2 pieces of bread and I slept. I said, that's your problem. That's your problem, because you are the one who wanted to get better, right? So you have to know your reality. If you are somebody who doesn't like cooking, I get it. I will give you options. You can go to Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Costco. I will give you a list of things that you can probably buy. It's not the healthiest, but then it will be definitely better than you ordering food from outside or eating something which is very, very processed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, it comes back to the same thing, that accepting the reality, then setting a plan, and then putting action to that is going to give you a successful result. And while you are making this transition, no change is easy. Nothing is easy. You have to be very open to learn. If you are a very closed person and you are like, have a very fixed mindset, like I deal with it all the time, like, with so much of information on the internet where people keep
Exactly.
saying, oh, high protein, high protein, high protein, you have to eat protein to lose weight. Agreed. Are you the person who can eat protein the entire time? Your body is carb dependent. A lot of vegetarians I see, Indian vegetarians, their food is dense with carbs. They have grown up eating carbs, right? So their body is carb dependent. It is not easy overnight. You change it and you make that person eat protein only and then expect that person to be very happy and high all the time. It is impossible because you are so carb dependent. Your energy will deplete. You have to run the house, you have to work, you have to do everything. It is impossible. It's practically not possible. And especially for women who are 40 plus, it's
Mm-hmm.
not going to work for you. You have to understand your body first. So that's why this alignment is really important. And I keep saying this to my client all the time is our body constantly gives us signal. What is suiting you, what is not suiting you. You have to be aware of it. Listen to your body. You are in your 20s, early 30s, you do whatever you want because body is in your favor and body will adapt to it. But not now. It's not going to work. You have to make subtle changes and also the changes which you can stick to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I call as progress. I mean, your goal could be to lose 20 pounds, but that's your end goal. But in this entire journey of losing 20 pounds, what are the steps that you are taking is really important. And each step has to be aligned with you, who you are as a person, your personality, how you operate in other aspect on other parts of your life.
Mm-hmm.
That will determine how well or whether it's going to be an easy or not easy transition for you.
So keeping the goals grounded to your reality. Everybody wants aggressive goals, and I've seen
Correct.
people, oh, I'm getting married and I want to lose weight within 8 months, or I have a party coming and I want to lose it. No, that's kind of a very short-term goal. People want um, results immediately. When you see those pictures of before and after, you get tempted, and the journey itself is really long. They don't see that duration and all the effort that they have put in to become that version they wanted to be. So that's kind of masked because you see those pictures right next to each other. Um, you brought in a very important point, understanding you as a person, understanding you as your body. Um, how do we do that? Because sometimes it's life is so fast and you don't even realize what you're doing unless explicitly a symptom shows up. For example, I don't even feel I'm tired unless somebody notices, hey, are you okay? You look tired. Oh, am I? We constantly don't think about ourselves. It's about things that are surrounding us. When you're on bed, yes, again, you're thinking about the next day. So first thing is to be aware of your situation. And how do we do that? How do we take time to understand what is right for me and go from there?
Um, my answer to this is it doesn't come instantly. Becoming aware of your own body, you have to spend a bit of a time with your own self. But when you are starting and when you are not connected with your own self, I think then you should leave it all on your coach, and you have to be ready and you have to be open to learn. Because if
Okay.
you are a closed person and you're not even aware what's happening, you are not willing to adapt to the changes that has been asked to you, it's hard for you. You cannot make changes not only in this towards your health goal, you can't make changes in any other parts of your life as well because you are you are a person who is not willing to learn. So I think
Mhm.
that's probably could be the first goal. But to be very honest, I don't know how it is, but I think even if somebody is not very connected, there are certain physical symptoms which eventually shows up. I mean, I'm not saying about the alignment with your mind uh, and body, that alignment, but physical alignment is also important. Like if you are noticing that, hey, you're getting dark circles, or if you're
Mm,
noticing that you're getting a lot of acne, you're noticing you're getting a lot of acidity issues, GERD, refluxes, you have gut issues, these are all physical symptoms, right? So
mm,
so body is trying to tell you something all the time. You just have to understand it and not irritate it more. That's
mm.
the action that your body is asking for, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I think the key here.
Sometimes when these symptoms show up on your body, many normally resort to addressing those symptoms. For example, if there is
Correct.
acidity, they would probably take a Digene or something. And then if there is acne showing up, maybe some acne cream on just topical without
True.
addressing the root cause of it, right?
Correct.
And there are people who do want to learn, but just they're not thinking about it, right? Because of
Correct.
the schedule, or it's just they don't put themselves first. So when they have to reach out to you as an expert, yes,
Hmm.
I'm not sure what's going on with me. I want to feel better. These are the
Correct.
conditions I have. Can you walk me through the steps that you would put them through? Of course, everybody's journey is different, but a typical one, what would you do with them when they reach out to you?
Okay, so whenever somebody comes to me, like most of the people, they already know what I do, and they usually come to me for weight loss because, that's something
Yeah.
which gives people a very big happiness. But probably the first thing that I usually do with them is I spend a lot of time asking the questions which will give me the answers about their lifestyle, about what kind of person that he or she is on other areas of their life, like simple questions like, so what time do you go to bed? Oh, I go to bed at sometimes not 10 o'clock, sometimes 1 o'clock. I stay awake till 2 o'clock. So that tells me that the person is inconsistent. Then I simply ask, so what do you cook food every day? Yeah, sometimes I cook food, but sometimes, I kind of just get food from outside because I feel too lazy. So that gives me a check mark that, okay, this person is not somebody who likes cooking. And then I asked that person, so while you're working, how many times are you seating? Like, how, so, people are like, oh, what, I have early morning calls. So I get up at 4 in the morning and then I take calls in between, but I really don't get time to eat. And then, my calls keep on happening and I just go and grab something. So that tells me a lot about the person is not even aware of what he or she is doing. They are just trying to fill in the gap
Yeah.
to address that immediate issue of hunger, right? So my detailed, and after that, that's the first consultation that I do, and after that, I send an entire initial intake where I ask that person to write details in
Mhm.
as much as they can explain, starting with the kind of oil they use for cooking, the timing of their food, what are the food that they like buying. So even if we are Indians, there I know a lot of Indians, like including me, I don't eat Indian food every day. Okay. I don't visit Indian store actually. Not because I don't like it. It's because I don't like to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. I'm not a person who likes cooking food. Okay. For me, buying a protein, marinating and keeping it in a Ziploc pouch for the whole week, distributing my protein is a much easier option. And I will probably buy those vegetables, which is very easy to, not much of chopping needed. So, for example, I'll buy a bag of broccoli, I'll buy a bag of cauliflower or Brussels sprouts, which has already been shaved. So, I like keeping those things because it's easy for me to prepare. And that's me. I know what I like doing and I know how to do that. Say women who have small kids, okay, and say they have like kids in the age teenagers, right? And they are the people who have a lot of food. They kind of they are not a very good eater. They usually don't like eating home food. They are the people who always like to order food from outside or don't like to eat really our traditional food, right? So in those cases, the mother has to really juggle between her own diet versus the demand from the kids, and maybe the husband is asking something else, right? So in those scenario, I have to empathize with this situation and I have to tell her that, hey, it's okay if you're making pasta for your kids, it's fine. Just keep that boiled little pasta for yourself and make a salad out of it. And when you're making a salad, I'm not asking you to chop vegetables. You get all your salad kits everywhere. So cut a salad kit, don't use the dressing, put it along with your pasta, and I will teach you some easy dressing, or I'll tell you which dressing to buy from which store. Just use it, mix it up, and eat. That's a wholesome food for you, and you really don't have to break your head while doing it. So I think that's teaching practical solution and teaching through and with that solution how to sustain it is what I teach, and that's how I bridge their requirement and helping them reach the ideal goal. See, giving a diet plan is something pretty easy. I mean, these days, ChatGPT also will deliver and give you a diet plan, right? So, my expertise lies in helping this person to get the diet plan aligned with your routine. That's important. I have to make sure that you have enough energy throughout the day. I have to make sure that if you have a goal of losing X amount of pounds, this food that you are eating, is creating enough calorie deficit for you to help you lose weight. I also have to ensure that you are taking out some time for yourself, either for your morning walk or some form of movement that is mandatory for you. So, and a constant follow up to basically see whether you are on the right track. And especially when we are trying to build a habit, there are very high chances of people slipping, right? Because old habits die hard, right? We all go back to unhealthy
That's true.
habits that's there. So that's my process of onboarding somebody and then keeping them engaged for a period of 12 weeks to 6 months, depends on what is the goal. And my primary work is basically to constantly follow up with my client because that's what they need and that's why they have paid me. To get a diet plan, I am there. I mean, of course, I will provide that, but just giving a diet plan is not going to really solve the case.
Yeah, make them
Yeah.
follow the plan,
Make
adjust
them
the
follow
course of
and
action.
also constantly teach them and make them aware of who you are. Like very recently, a doctor, she came to me, and she's in her early 30s, extremely obese, extremely grade 3 obesity. And I think she's there with me from last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And in the last 2 years, I think she's lost around 40 pounds,
Hmm.
but still she's quite overweight.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and There are times when she's very good with following the routine, and then there are times she just slips. And when she slips, it just goes back. So her weight has rebounded twice, you know.
Oh,
She loses weight, she gets back. If she loses weight, she gets back. So these are very difficult situations, you know, and somewhere I also feel for these kind of people, you need just not my help, but some medical support because they are not able to regulate their mood. And that's why they just get into this cycle of constant eating and then breaking all that you have done, in order to get rid of it. So they again go back to the old cycle again. So it depends on different people to people. And yeah, so that's
okay.
pretty much what I do. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. So when someone comes to you with weight loss as their goal, it may not always be the food they're eating causing that weight. It could be inflammation, it could be thyroid. So how do you diagnose what is the root cause of their weight and addressing the problem accordingly?
Again, at the same thing, when I do my first initial consultation, I do a very detailed consultation. I
Okay.
ask a lot of questions. If somebody has hypothyroidism, what kind of, is it Hashimoto's? Is it something which has recently been diagnosed? What is your age? How is your menstrual cycle? Um, and who in the family has diabetes?
Mhm.
Is that person's immediate, her own bloodline, like parents or grandparents, do they have diabetes? So that gives a lot of
Yes.
information about
Mhm.
that person. And I don't know this, but I kind of have this is kind of my you know uh, experience is when somebody is unhealthy, okay, and I mean, someone has become unhealthy and obese in the last 4 5 years, that's a different case. But if someone has always been obese, someone has always had issues with their body and body image issues, it comes from their parents. The
Mm.
parents are unhealthy, or
Mhm.
maybe their grandparents have always been unhealthy. See, back in our days when we were kids, there wasn't so much of awareness. People would
Mm.
only get the alarm when the blood work report would show that you have very high parameters, right? And environmental stress back in those days wasn't so much. The quality of food was better, right?
Yes,
But now we have to also deal with environmental stress, peer pressure, social media pressure. Plus,
exactly.
the food that you are getting is not what it used to be. There are so much of additives in today's food. We want, something like easy. We really want quick fixes for everything. So I think we are in the middle of a lot many things, which leads to a lot of these conditions. So
Mhm.
again, my initial
Okay.
analysis and what I ask them gives me a lot and tells me a lot about them.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow, that's absolutely important to understand where you come
yeah,
from, whether it's
yeah.
genetics or something that you acquired during your life.
Correct,
So
correct,
that the treatment plan depends on that. Okay. Um, Again, we touched upon this a little bit that there is so much information out there. We don't know what is right, what's wrong. They are two different experts. Like they're both a nutritionist and talking about just the opposite of what you want to do.
correct.
Somebody would say, you can eat sweet, but eat after you finish a meal. Somebody would say, you start with the sweet and then you go ahead and finish your meal. That's less harmful. That's one thing. And then intermittent fasting. Oh my God, there's so much about intermittent fasting. Some say, no, it's really good for your body, it gives the rest for your gut. And there are a few other, including some of the doctors, say, no, don't do that. Eat healthy. Don't skip a meal. Eat healthy instead. Otherwise, there'll be a gut problem. You could have leaky guts and stuff. So there's a lot of contradictory informations. So how do we, like common people like us, not certified like you, like understand what is the source of truth? We don't have a singular truth. The truth could be different based on you as an individual. So how
Correct.
do we address that?
I mean, it again comes back to who you are as an individual, because whatever information an expert is giving is based on maybe that person has personally experienced it or read it or has been researched and then talking about it. Okay. But what I feel, and this is what I do with my coaches also, like, every coach will have their own style of teaching, their own philosophy. Okay. We have to believe in one person and we have to go with that person with a belief that this is going to work for me. If you have a lot of information which is there, which we cannot avoid, but you need to either filter it out or just channelize it. Okay, these are my information, but I will stick to my mentor, and my mentor is telling me to do this. I will stick to it because I believe her. What she's going to say is going to work for me. Now,
Okay.
coming back to intermittent fasting, okay, I have rheumatoid arthritis and Hashimoto for like several years now. Intermittent fasting is great for women who want to address insulin resistance, for women who have eating disorders, for people who are, literally struggling to bring down the fat percentage of their body. Intermittent fasting is great. And also, intermittent fasting promotes liver detoxification. So it has tons of health benefits, and I'm aware of it. However, having said that, intermittent fasting may not be a great thing for people who have hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's. The reason being, our brain, people who have hypothyroidism, our brain doesn't function if you don't have enough of carbs in the body. So that's really important. Okay, so and as I said in the part, like right, when we were talking, we have to really understand this. We cannot be you have to listen to your body. Your body is actually going to give you those signs, and it will tell you that what you are doing, whether it is suiting you or not. Intermittent fasting is not for everybody, though it has tons and tons of benefits. There are people who swear by it. It's great for them because it's working for them, but it's not going to work for a carb dependent body. It will not. The person will give up. And
Mm-hmm.
hunger pangs are serious. I mean, you literally, it's not easy, and it's also not good for your hormones because internally you're creating a lot of stress. Your cortisol is going high because your body is signaling you constantly, hey, I am deficit of certain, I need fuel to work, and you're not giving me fuel. So your cortisol will again go high. So everything that you do has to be aligned, whether it is intermittent, keto, paleo, whatever, diet you're following. You have to be very, very, very aligned with it, with a belief, as well as seeing whether that is really helping you or not. So,
Mm-hmm.
with all the information, it's good to know, but it's also important to know whether it's going to suit you. And most importantly, are you the person who will follow that or not? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Okay.
have that willpower to do what that person is saying? So that determines a lot of things, you
Okay.
know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Um, so I started intermittent fasting last year.
Uh-huh.
I did it for some time. Initially, it was tough. I was thinking about food and, I wanted to break it, but I continued. Then I realized how nice it was because I felt light on my body and the food tasted better. Like the same blueberries tasted much more tastier because you're hungry and you're looking forward to the eating part. And when you start with those fruits or avocados, I felt my taste buds are enhanced. then eventually I learned from my doctors, no, don't do that, just eat normal. When I resumed eating, I felt, oh, the previous version of me when I was doing intermittent fasting was really nice. It's like I was eating my breakfast for 3 months, then I switched back to intermittent fasting. So right now I'm fasting. I ate last night at 8 o'clock and I haven't eaten it yet. I have hypothyroidism too. I do have my levothyroxine on empty stomach in the morning, so that compensates the TSH. So now I'm like a normal person because my thyroxine levels are the what is necessary for the body because I took my medicine. Um, I I feel light. I've reduced weight a little bit. My goal is not reducing weight. I think I'm within the limits. I'm not obese, but my goal is to stay fit. When I go for walk, I don't want to lose breath, or when I go for hikes, my knees are a little bit, painful and not very strong. So I have to hold my husband's hand when I climb down, especially not up. So things like that. I want to be able to just be on my own and be fit. So that's my main goal. So I go for walk every day and I do the intermittent fasting. Those are the two things I've been continuously doing, rain or shine. Sometimes I do break. I love biryanis a lot. So anytime I want to just please myself, it's my go-to is biryanis. So
Wow.
um, so I've made my husband to a biryani person, even though he wasn't a foodie earlier. But again, when I do that, I feel guilt too. Oh, you know what? I ate this. Maybe I should not eat. That happens. And sometimes when I finish my work and I start watching TV, then end of day, maybe I could have worked out. That guilt feeling is there definitely. I wake up from at 7 o'clock. Maybe I can wake up at 6 o'clock and do some yoga, meditation, then go for walk. So it's very hard to get up, and when you're used up with that 7 o'clock wake up time. And I don't even have alarms these days. My body wakes me up. I wake up exactly around the same time without alarm, and I go to sleep after 10 to 10:30 is my time to sleep, and that is every day. I don't like to break that up unless I meet some friends who want to stay extended, and the next day feels like a hangover, right? So in my situation, like as an expert, like what can I do to help myself? Like my goal is to just feel better, not weight loss.
I think you're pretty much doing everything that is needed. I think you are putting your body into a fasting state, which is helping you balance your insulin sensitivity. Plus, you have checked your thyroid levels, which is pretty much in the level, which is a great sign.
Yeah.
Um, and I think you're pretty much in the zone. But in case if you feel that, you are getting aches and pain in the body, there can be mild inflammation, or it can be, as we keep growing older, we start getting slight symptoms of arthritis. So you
Mhm.
can even get that checked. But if you feel that you are getting some aches and pain in the body, I think the majority of the time it is because of inflammation. And you can probably rework on your diet and completely give up certain food, eliminate certain food, and see how you feel.
Mhm.
Um, so when I say inflammation, it basically means, so inflammation is a condition of our body's, way of response to fight and flight. If there is something that my body is not able to digest or process, that's when my body, tries to protect ourselves, and as a response, we either get an inflamed gut, or we will
Mhm.
start having, inflammation around our joints. And majority of the time, these triggers are because of food which is irritating our gut. So
Mhm.
gut plays such a big important role in our life, not just in how you feel, how you are as a person is also determined by your gut. Gut is our
Yeah.
second brain, as it's called in nutrition science. So, if you feel that you are kind of feeling less energetic, aches and pain in the body, you can rework on your diet and you can eliminate probably the trigger food like gluten, like
Mm.
milk, like sugar. These are like the most the biggest triggers for gut health, gut imbalance, and the another thing is anything which is processed. So what I tell people is if you're reading a label and if the ingredient place is more than 5 ingredients, it's processed.
Okay.
If I mean, it's just like in a layman's language, if I have to make somebody understand, if the label has more than 5 ingredients, it's processed. It because there are tons and tons of variety of sugar which is written in. So I actually don't remember, but I think the other day I was talking to somebody and she said that there are some, I don't know, 36 names for sugar, and and those names are used in the food labels, right? And these are
Mhm.
all processed additives which is added in the food to enhance the taste and increase the shelf life, and these do havoc to the body, especially to our gut health. So
Yeah.
again, addressing to your question, listen to your body. If you feel that there is a change that is needed, you can just adjust that and again reset it.
Okay. Yeah, that's a very good point. If you're seeing the label with lots of names, ingredients in it, then that's processed. I mean, single ingredient food is the best to go with. Like I pick
Correct.
up this apple, it's not processed, you know.
Correct.
So things like that. And I see a lot of videos being shared about adulterated. For example, paneer. Indians love paneer, and people want to switch to vegetarian diet, and the market for paneer has increased. So even if I want to eat healthy, I want to stick to vegetarian meal, and I think I'm cooking a clean meal, but I maybe not. I get really bombarded with these videos, and I when I look at that food, I rethink about it. Is it real or not? Whether it's oil, whether it's ghee or paneer or anything. So there's just constant anxiety around picking the right food. So how do you make sure that we pick the right one and clean food?
Read the labels.
Hmm.
It's important to get ourselves educated about what is healthy and what is not. So, even if it says paneer, read the label whether it has been made only with milk or
Hmm.
there has been some other terms which has been used which you probably don't know, like maybe it's written milk solids and xanthan gum plus additives and emulsifiers and stuff like that. That simply means that it's not pure milk. So
Okay.
reading label gives us a lot more clarity about what you are eating. See, in today's world, and I get this question a lot when I use a lot of, as I said, I use frozen vegetables. Like I am not a person who can stand in the kitchen desk and keep chopping vegetables fresh and all of that. I am a very practical person and I give only practical solutions, right? So I'm okay to eat frozen vegetables. I don't mind. As long as it is only vegetable and there is no
Mhm.
additives to it, I'm fine with that. It's absolutely fine. Like sometimes I do go to Indian store if I'm wanting to eat something like for example, I love eating drumsticks. Those are
Mhm.
like one of my favorite. But I really don't have the patience to buy it and then cut it and peel it and do it. I can't do that. I will rather buy a frozen one and then, make something out of it. So that's how, we need to, be aware of that what are you exactly putting inside your mouth. If it has been commercially produced and made in a factory, it's not good for you. Simple.
Okay. I think when we were kids, it was easy to manage our diet because my grandma
We did
had
not
a
have so much of options, right?
exactly. I mean, not just options because of this industry having to scale. There are a lot of processed food. I don't think we ever had a fridge when I was a kid, right? Like we always, my grandma had a backyard garden. I used to pluck all these vegetables, and that's the food that was I was eating. It was the fresh you can get, and we had our cows, and milk came right from there. And we didn't realize that's a luxury now. Only,
Of course.
big celebrities have this life of having a garden of their own and their own farmhouse to feed, right? And now, when I look at my daughter, she's 10 years old, she's being fed with all these media content, and also people around her, and all the festivals are about sweets, whether it's Halloween or Christmas gifts or Easter. When you go and hunt for those eggs, but what is in there is a candy. It's extremely difficult as a parent who wants to reduce all these sugar intake. Very difficult, because to make them understand, I look like a villain when I talk about it. Mom, you're not cool. When I talk about vegetables, they don't want to eat that. So I want them to feel um, good about eating vegetables, not like a force that's coming from parents, but as something they look up to because they understand it is healthy for them and not the other ones. So I got something like a chocolate sundae where I didn't completely cut off. Only on Sundays she gets to eat chocolates. She might have hidden things and doing it out of my sight, but that's the rule of the house. So it's very difficult. So what is your tip for a parent like me?
I think the only thing here I would like to say is, kids are a lot more mature than what we think. Uh, as parents, what we can only do is make them aware of what is right, what is wrong. Okay. Maybe at that age, unless and until it has been, unfortunately, some kids are medically asked that, hey, you cannot because they have developed obesity. That we have to be careful of. But otherwise, I think if we, it, and again, it comes all from our parents, right? If we have healthy habits at home, you know, sooner or later, your child will pick that up. Your child is absorbing every bit of what you are, who you are, and that's what the person is also becoming, right? So when it comes to teaching your child about healthy eating, I think we have to start doing that ourselves. And we just have to make them aware of it and not really shame them with the fact that, oh, you have eaten sweets and you really don't have to, yesterday also you ate, today also. So instead of, I think, threatening, though, at times, saying is, I really don't want to sound like one of those idealistic mother, because I also have had situations where I remember once, and my daughter still tells me that, Mama, you never let me eat those French fries from McDonald's. And trust me on this, as soon as, that Happy Meal, my daughter would buy the Happy Meal because of the toy, but I would let her eat the burger, but I would always throw that packet of French fries in the dustbin. And she
Mm,
knew that these French fries, that was her perception, that French fries are not for eating, for throwing, and Coke is for cleaning the toilet. Okay, it is not for drinking. Right. So now my daughter says, and I don't think that was the right way of parenting. But then, we again learn from our own experiences. Probably I was too strict to my daughter, especially because my husband's side of family, everybody's diabetic. So I was like, and because I am into this industry, I think I was extremely conscious about, you know, uh, constantly teaching my child that she should not make a wrong mistake, lifestyle mistakes. While doing all these things, I think, we also kind of fail to address that they are kids. They are also learning and they also want to explore and experiment and feel how it feels, right? Because
right.
we have done that bit and now we cannot restrain just because we know what is the outcome. So I think the only way here is to make the child aware of what is right, what is wrong. We as adults, as parents, will have to have those culture in the house. Sooner or later, your child will pick it up. Even if the
Okay.
child is resisting, okay, the child will pick up. The kids always follow what their parents. They all want to be very good and obedient, and they just want to be, the best kid in their mind. They always try to prove themselves that I am really good, mom. I'm really nice. So they always look for that validation. So I think, so yeah, that's the only way I feel to do that.
Okay. One thing I do is cut off the supply. You know, so even for myself, because if I feel like eating something spicy, or like murukku we call in Tamil, uh, chikki, I think, I don't know what's in Hindi.
Yeah, it's called
So
chakli, chakli.
exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
So things like that when it's at home, even if I don't want to eat, I always tend to tea time just start with that. So I want to cut off that supply first, if the temptation, and then I go for something else, maybe peanuts or cashews. So that's one thing that I've been doing. So initially it was a struggle for me and for my daughter too. I've asked her to, I don't know, many people might hate this. So on Halloween day, we separated the chocolates and candies. I asked her to just drop the candies off to on the trash, and pick maybe the chocolates. The candies are very difficult because when you chew and it gets stuck on the teeth, it's very, very harmful to the teeth and your entire system. And they're so colored, artificial colored, and gelatin and whatnot, right? So I spoke to her. This is very, very serious. You know, you just have to drop it off. But you keep these. These are good ones. You know, you only eat once in a week. I'm not saying you should not, but drop these off. So she did that. I was very happy that I didn't have to do that, and she did that voluntarily when I said that. So yeah, I believe that things will get better. Overall, we're at time here. So I had a lot of insights through this meeting. I'm I'll definitely connect with you because I have certain conditions that you were mentioning. So I will
Sure.
connect with you and then see
Yeah,
how we can go from there. And I think
certainly.
everybody deserves to have a wonderful life, you know, feeling good on themselves and being good for people around them too. Because if you're not feeling good, you cannot be a good person to others. So
Absolutely. 100%.
yeah, so
Yeah.
improving life is so important, and people like you are doing a lot of great work around this. It is not to be taken light, and I'm so
Thank you.
thankful to you.
No, I'm really thankful. It's really my pleasure. Whenever I get, opportunities like this when I can really talk about it, I think it's I really make use of that opportunity. And if like one thing that I have told and if that can inspire one person, I
Yeah,
think I have done, what I am meant to do.
definitely. Those transformations are your kudos, right? You see somebody
It is.
starting with a problem, and then they have made their life better because of connections
Absolutely.
with you and advices from you. I think that motivates what you do. That
Yes.
motivates what I do too, talking to you people. Thank you so
So
much,
thank
Loma.
you.
Very nice
Thank you,
talking to you.
Aruna. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Um,
Bye.
bye. All right, I'll cut here.